everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for an album review, the self-titled Roomful of Teeth album. This is a really interesting project slash vocal group that involves 8 different vocalists, 1 director, Brad Wells, and about 24 different singing experts and composers coming together to all make the music on this LP happen. And these singing experts that I mentioned come in and help fine-tune techniques of certain singing styles to bring some real variety to this album. Everything from more theatrical, operatic stage singing to TUVAN throat singing and yodeling. There are some moments here and there on this LP where Roomful of Teeth does kind of sound like, a regular choral group, but they are completely open to making lots of weird percussive noises with their mouths or with their breaths. They'll sort of break out into busy stints of talking to kind of bring another dynamic to a track, or go into really gruff or noisy vocal freakouts too. I mean, the whole concept of this album on paper just kind of sounds like some, chorus kid's wet dream. However, I do feel personally that Roomful of Teeth does have an appeal beyond that, because they are musically, just in general, pretty experimental, out there, adventurous, and just fun to listen to. However, I do feel like that dependence on vocals that this LP has can kind of be, a speed bump for some people, because I'm sure there are individuals who maybe don't want to listen to nothing but singing for over an hour straight. Listening to any single instrument for that long for a lot of people, I'm sure, can kind of be a drag. However, I do think on these tracks on this album, Roomful of Teeth does a great job of displaying the power and the versatility of the human voice. I mean, some of the deep, bassy lows and extreme highs that these people hit with their voices, as well as some of the throat singing noises that are displayed on these tracks, sound so otherworldly it doesn't even feel like I'm listening to a voice. And especially when they're taking some of these throatier singing sounds and making a drone or making kind of a nice repetition with them, it becomes kind of hypnotic. Or even when they're saying like a lyric or just kind of a phrase and repeating it, kind of chanting it, it becomes sort of chilling or cultish. There are some lyrics here and there on this LP. A lot of these tracks are based mostly on just, singing, but lyrics do come into play. Imagery of rotting fruit or an angry ocean, or a particular moment that grabs me, really moves me, is this lyrical spot where you hear the line sung over and over, "There is no subtlety in death, it's like a hurricane." That moment in the song particularly is really powerful. It's heavy, it's overwhelming. Not terms I would normally apply to a choral group. The very skillfully executed vocal styles on this LP, along with the pretty detailed compositions, are just a great pairing for some of the abstract imagery that these words bring to the table. And I do find it pretty interesting that the lyrics do sometimes circle back around to subjects like death or geometry. I think there's some talk of like points and sides and things of that nature. And there are some real stylistic differences between these tracks too. It's not just one consistent flavor throughout the entire thing. The third track on here, along with the song QUIZASSA, they both feel distinctly foreign. The last of those two has some really manic chanting on it, and it's actually a track on this LP that is composed by Merrill Garbus, of all people, from Tune Yards. There's some more chilled out moments on this LP, like the song No, where you do kind of actually get a repetition of the word no in the background behind some more operatic vocals atop, and these chants of no, no, no in the back actually become very entrancing. The same goes for all the humming in number 3 of the 4 pieces piece. The humming pops up all around the mix panoramically in a way that's disorienting but kind of calming too. There were some other ideas and song concepts on this LP that really impressed me too. I liked the story that was being told on the track The Orchard, which kind of seemed to be about taking this tree and stripping it of everything that you could possibly use it for, to the point where maybe it's destroyed. The vocals on that track seem so dramatic and theatrical. If I do have some gripes with this LP, there are some compositions that feel a bit simpler or a little more tame than others. the differences between the way each track is composed among, you know, all the composers that are brought into this album to make it work, these stylistic differences are very apparent for the most part. Like the track No, which does kind of have this operatic vocal, and the song sort of seems to thrive just for that with some pretty simple vocal accompaniment. The same goes for the 8th track on here, which just kind of seems to be a yodel style song with some very simple singing in the background. I wish the arrangements, the vocal arrangements around this lead vocal were just a little bit more ambitious. And some of the lead vocals themselves, like on the 12th track here, can feel a little too studied, you know, not as emotive as moments like The Orchard. And you know what, the few talking spots on here where you do have everybody in the group kind of blah, 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 they didn't really do much for me, kind of took me out of the mood of the song. It didn't seem so weird or gripping or out there that it really moved me or had me interested, but that just is my take. There are musical elements in here that I think could be enjoyed by people who are Tune Yards fans or Owen Pallett fans, or even Dirty Projectors fans. Overall, I think this album is just produced and recorded extremely well. It doesn't seem to be edited too heavily for the most part. What I am hearing on this album seems like it could easily be performed live by this 8-person group. This is a really adventurous, unique, and just bold and again, fun album to listen to. Feeling a strong 7 to a light 8 on this. If you've given it a listen, what did you think about it? Did you love it? Hate it? Why? And what should I review next? Anthony Fantano, Roomful of Teeth, forever.